Asterisk. Hey everyone, welcome back to DrivedriftX, the channel where cars aren't just machines, they're characters in the story of our lives. Today, buckle up because we're going on a ride through time, culture, nostalgia, and the electric future. That's right. The Volkswagen Beetle is back for 2026, and what's rolling onto the streets now is more than a car. It's an icon reborn. Asterisk, machines are remembered just for what they do. A Boeing 747 changed how we travel the skies. The iPhone changed how we carry our world in our pocket. And the Volkswagen Beetle? It changed how people saw the automobile itself. Think about it. Where most cars were designed to flaunt power or symbolize success, the Beetle was designed to be universal, approachable, friendly, and just a little bit odd. That approachability created legend. Over 21 million classic Beetles rolled off assembly lines. It became the best-selling single-model design in history, worn like a badge of personality by artists, students, surfers, road trippers, and even the occasional villain in a spy movie. Asterisk. So what happens when you take that history and decide to reboot it in the EV age? That's where our story begins. The 2026 Beetle is more than a nostalgia trip. It's Volkswagen's answer to a simple but important question. Can a car be fun, affordable, and soulful in a world of increasingly serious, minimalist, generic electric boxes on wheels? Let's find out. Asterisk. Let's start with the looks because, admit it, that's the first thing you care about in a Beetle. You glance, you smile, you recognize it instantly. Volkswagen understood that it couldn't mess with the silhouette. The humped roofline, the rounded haunches, the friendly stance, check, check, check. You know, it's a Beetle from across the parking lot. But move closer and suddenly the details blow the dust off your nostalgia. Those big round headlights? They're now ultra-modern LED eyes with a subtle animated welcome sequence. The bumpers have been integrated into flowing body lines that make the car more aerodynamic than any Beetle you've ever met. Door handles sit flush, wheels cut down drag, and the roofline arcs ever so smoothly to blend heritage with engineering. Necessity. It looks cute still, yes, but sophisticated, cute, sort of like your childhood puppy showed up at a reunion wearing high fashion and rocking wireless earbuds. Now, historically, Beetles weren't bought for horsepower. They were bought because they were reliable, charming, and easy on the wallet, but the 2026 Beetle shakes things up here. Thanks to Volkswagen's EB Plus electric platform, the Beetle isn't just about practicality anymore, it's genuinely zippy. The base rear-wheel drive model serves up around 200 horsepower and instant torque that makes green lights fun rather than stressful. For folks craving spice, the GT spec pumps things into the 300-plus horsepower territory, planting grins as firmly as it plants itself on curves. And here's what really matters, the battery options extend up to over 330 miles of range under optimal conditions. That's farther than you'd probably want to drive in one sitting. Unless you're the kind of road tripper who thinks bathroom break is a sign of weakness. Asterisk. Charging is quick. 10 to 80% in under half an hour at a DC fast charger. Realistically, that's barely enough time to order a fancy latte, debate oat versus almond milk with the barista, and get back to your car. Lifestyle integration is the key word here. This isn't just a commuter pod, it's a car encouraging you to live with it. Grocery trips, beach trips, last-minute road adventures, all without range panic. Asterisk. Alright, step inside. If the exterior is a nod to its heritage, the interior is a playful handshake between past and future. Here's what I mean. VW designers knew people loved quirky Beetle touches like the flower vase from the early 2000s version. In this 2026 edition, the vase itself hasn't returned, but in its place sits a customizable light pod that glows and changes color to match your vibe. Set it to sunrise yellow to wake up for your morning commute, or let it pulse in rhythm with the music when you're vibing on Friday night. It's functional whimsy, the exact thing a Beetle buyer is likely chasing. The dashboard merges sleek minimalism with circular accents and retro curves. The driver's cockpit is a full digital cluster, fast and bright, while the central infotainment system feels like a perfectly integrated tablet. Wireless connectivity is baked in your phone. Talks beautifully with the system without cords cluttering up cup holders. Seats are surprisingly premium, even in lower trim, supportive, ergonomic, but still keeping that approachable, light-hearted vibe. Soft-touch recycled materials nod to sustainability without feeling cheap. And let's not forget the sunroof option, because no Beetle has ever felt complete without a little extra sky above your head. Asterisk driving experience. Oh boy. Now, I admit, hopping into a Beetle with some historical baggage, I half expected floaty, slightly nervous handling like the classic versions had, but the new Beetle? It feels planted, confident, and dare I say sporty. Electric vehicles naturally benefit from that low-slung battery pack, and here it keeps the car's center of gravity right at road-hugging height. The result? Tight turns are handled like a small hatch should. Steering is playful, responsive, yet forgiving enough that nervous new EV drivers won't feel overwhelmed. Is it a track car? No, it's not supposed to be. This is the car you take on real-life drives. Crowded urban streets, twisty weekend roads, and the highway to the coast. And in every scenario, it feels totally at home. Asterisk now, let's zoom out for a second. Why even bring the Beetle back? Wasn't. It retired in 2019 after the final edition farewells. Well, here's the thing, cars aren't just machines. They're cultural touchpoints. And Volkswagen realized that the Beetle, as an AV, could become more than nostalgia it could become. The ambassador for friendly, accessible electric driving. People still remember what the Beetle represented: counterculture in the 60s, fun, practicality in the 70s, cheeky retro in the 2000s. By pairing that image with electric technology, VW isn't just making a car, it's making a statement. Cars can have personality even in an era where efficiency and aerodynamics risk making everything look like a soap bar. Asterisk. But let's not skim over practicality, because this thing is built for daily living. Cargo space has always been a Beetle balancing act. You don't buy one for moving your apartment. But Volkswagen has been clever with packaging. Rear seats fold flat. The trunk is surprisingly useful for a compact, and there's even a small frunk, the result of not having a traditional gasoline engine in the nose. So while you won't haul giant furniture in it, you'll definitely pack weekend luggage, sports gear, and enough grocery bags to look responsible on your way home. Asterisk now, let's sprinkle in some history midway here, because history is what this car is driving alongside. The very first Beetle was conceived in the 1930s. Then after World War II, it became an unlikely global hero. By the 1960s, it wasn't just transportation. It was rebellion, the anti-establishment choice. In America, you had ads that leaned into its smallness, celebrating "Think Small" as a cheeky response to Detroit's massive tailfin monsters. That DNA of quirk, honesty, friendliness is exactly what VW's tapping into now. Except the 2026 Beetle's rebellion looks different. Instead of saying, "Hey, I'm smaller than your gas guzzler," it's now whispering, "Hey, I'm cleaner, I'm fun, and I've got personality in a parking lot full of gray anonymous EVs." Asterisk technology also shines. From driver assist systems, like adaptive cruise and lane keeping, to semi-automated park assist, yes. Parallel parking anxiety sufferers, you can breathe again. The Beetle comes equipped for modern roads. Safety is baked in. And to keep things on brand, even the driver assist alerts are designed to feel friendlier, subtle tones rather than harsh buzzers, because no one wants their car yelling at them when they're already stressed. Asterisk, so who's this Beetle for? That's the million-dollar question. And the answer is, it's not aimed at just one crowd. Young buyers who want a first AV with style will love the funk. Players from the Beetle Nostalgia Fan Club, aka people who maybe owned one in their youth, will be tempted by the throwback spirit. Even small families can find practicality here. If they want something smaller than a crossover, but not soulless like some compact sedans. It's lifestyle friendly in a way only a Beetle could be. Asterisk, driving the Beetle around town in my time behind the wheel felt human. That might sound cheesy, but hear me out. Some cars insulate you so much you don't really notice anything. Some overwhelm you with tech or stiff handling that makes a grocery run feel like a trial. The Beetle occupies this sweet spot. You feel connected to the drive but not taxed by it. It's like your daily commute remembered to pack some joy snacks for you along the way. Asterisk, and in case you're wondering, yes, the Beetle community is already buzzing. Forums, clubs, old Beetle enthusiasts are debating and getting nostalgic all over again. The car has always had this magnetism for community. And let's be real, seeing a line of Beetles buzzing down the road in 2026, half a century after their heyday, but now humming silently instead of chugging loudly. That's poetic. Asterisk, let me wrap with this thought: most cars don't get remembered. They serve, they disappear, they become trivia questions. But the Beetle has proven across decades it sticks with people. It's a smile on wheels. Now, in 2026, it proves that even in a future of clean tech, personality doesn't have to die. It can be reborn. Asterisk, so if you ask me, did Volkswagen nail the 2026 Beetle? I'd say they didn't just nail it, they stuck the land. Asterisk.